So I'm going to teach you the most comfortable way to use the ring of steps that'll keep you in the tree for a lot longer. If you're a saddle hunter, you're probably a ring of steps user or a platform user. They're both great and they both have their pros and cons. If you do use a platform, I'll show you how you can use this to your advantage as well. So the ring of steps gives you the ability to shoot 360 degrees around the tree, and that's a big advantage. That's one of the biggest advantages they have. Ring of steps are also a lot lighter in most cases. Mine only weighs a couple of pounds at most. It's a strap and a couple of steps, that's it. The bad part about using a ring of steps, no matter what you use, is that it's probably not as comfortable. With a platform, your whole foot can stay on and alleviate the pressure, and it's equal pressure throughout your foot. With the ring of steps, you have to pick your pressure points, where you're going to put pressure, and you constantly have to move your foot around so it feels better, especially on those longer hunts. But don't worry, it's not a big deal. I found a solution that'll help. So if you're a ring of steps person and you've become frustrated with having uncomfortable feet while saddle hunting, there's only two things you need to change. Whatever you use at the top of your climbing method, use that in addition to your ring of steps. Having this be a part of your ring of steps is really going to be beneficial. Not only does that mean you have to use less steps that go around the tree, it gives you the opportunity to put your feet a little bit more flat and have a little bit more surface area in addition to the ring of steps that are going on either side of the tree. Thing number two, and this is the big one that a lot of people don't do. Make sure your ring of steps are 2 inches higher than your top climbing stick. That means on either side of your step, the ring of steps that are closer to your top step of your sticks, follow that? That means that those are 2 inches higher than your top step of your climbing stick. So now I've got the ring of steps set up. Check it out. This step, my ring of steps, and this step over here is above this top step from my top stick. The reason why that's important is because your left toes go here, right toes go here, and you put your heel down here and your other heel down here, so your foot actually goes on it this way. I'll demonstrate in just a moment. The reason why that's going to keep you in the tree longer is simply because it's more natural for your foot to go this way than the other way, or even be perfectly flat for a long period of time. If you think about it, that's why a lot of platforms are being designed these days at a slight angle, because it keeps you in the tree a little bit longer. It just helps with your ankle pressure and all the pressure on the bottom of your feet to be alleviated a little bit by equalizing the pressure throughout the entire thing. Okay, so this is kind of how I would be in a hunting situation. I'm ready to work my way around the tree as needed. But if you look down here, that my heels are on the top step and my toes, or the ends of my feet, are more so on these. This gives me a lot of leverage to push either way that I want to. If everything's even, it's really easy for your foot just to slip off completely. But since I have these height differences between my heel and my toe, it's much easier to push off. Same goes with over here. So if I push off this way, and I work my way around the tree, my heel on this foot on the right side over here still has a lot of contact with that top step. I'm not just relying on these little steps from the ring of step to carry all my weight. When you have pressure relieved on your heel down here, it doesn't put as much pressure on the ends of your feet, which is why a lot of people using ring of steps don't last long just putting pressure on here, because it just is too small of a contact area. So if you look here, my toes or the ball of my foot is there, and then on this foot the same thing. I can push off this way to my strong side, being a lefty. I can push off to my weak side if I need to hide behind a tree. Let's say that the deer is coming from that way and it's moving right to left. I'm going to slide back behind. Obviously I want to come over here, grab my bow, take it off here for a shot that way, or whatever you want to do. So there's one thing that makes this a little bit difficult if you don't have the right sticks to begin with. I have these stacked outdoor sticks. They have a big distance between tree and where you actually put your foot. It sticks out a little bit. It actually sticks out almost as far as the end of these points on the ring of steps. That's something to consider too. If you have sticks that go right up tight to the tree that are difficult to get a bigger boot on or whatever, this might not be a good solution to you. I'm not saying you need to get stacked outdoor steps, but if you want to watch a review on them, I'll put that up here and you can decide for yourself. But in this case, it seems to work really well. And this isn't going to make you sit in the woods all day. It really depends on the person. But what it might do is increase your hunt from 3 hours to 4 hours to 5 hours. I normally just hunt for 3 hours anyway, but even for those 3 hours, you want to make sure you're comfortable. And making this addition to the ring of steps is really, really helpful. Also, making sure that this step to begin with is a couple inches shorter than here and here. So I mentioned earlier in the video that if you're a platform person, this can apply to you as well. You can still use a ring of steps in addition to your platform. So next to your platform, just like it was next to my top step, place that first little step on your ring of steps just 2, 3, 4 inches maybe higher on each side of the platform, and you can do this exact same thing and it will benefit you. Please don't be afraid to use ring of steps. If you're a platform person and you want more access around the tree, go for it. They're usually really cheap, they're super light. If you don't have a backpack to carry it in, tie it around your waist, strap it over your shoulder. They're really easy to carry in and it gives you access going around the entire tree. The biggest reason people don't use ring of steps is because they're not as comfortable as a platform. But don't be afraid to use them. If you do what I just taught you by making sure that the steps are 2 inches higher and use the top step from your climbing stick with your ring of steps, you will find comfort and it's going to increase your sit time by an hour or two. If you're just getting into saddle hunting and you're not sure if you should get a platform or a ring of steps, they both work great. But if you're looking to get into saddle hunting and save money, the ring of steps is definitely a better option in that regard. The bottom line is that you need to do what's best for you financially and whatever your comfort level happens to be. All right, so I hope that made your job a little bit easier to decide if you want to use a ring of steps or a platform. This isn't about how to use a ring of steps. This isn't me trying to convince you to use a ring of steps instead of a platform. This is a video simply showing you that if you have a ring of steps and you don't like it because you're uncomfortable, or if you're getting into saddle hunting or like to get a ring of steps, this should help your decision a little bit more. All right, everybody, thanks for stopping by. If you have any tips, tricks about how to use a ring of steps that's been even more comfortable for you, leave that in the comments down below. Remember, every Friday at 4, I'm posting new videos, all things hunting and fishing. And I love doing these videos for you, so thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate your support and your viewership. Take care. See you next Friday. Bye.